Friend, I know you might be opening this video in the dead of night after losing everything, or in the guilt that follows yet another lie to your family. Your fingers might still be trembling slightly, your heart gripped by a wave of unwillingness, regret, and despair, threatening to drown you. I'm not here to preach the usual clichés, like 9 out of 10 gamblers lose, or turn back while you can. You've probably heard those so many times your ears have grown calloused, maybe even said them to others countless times yourself. Today, I'm speaking to you as someone who crawled out of that quagmire, still covered in its filth, to have a heart-to-heart. No segments, no sermons, just two friends lighting a cigarette in the dead of night. I'm laying bare the deepest parts of my soul for you to see, telling you why I'll never touch it again, ever. I quit gambling first and foremost because I finally did the math. The money I won back could never buy back what I'd lost. Do you understand the weight of that sentence? People like us always have a string pulled taut in our heads, called breaking even. We always think life is like a game with S/L, save/load mechanics. Losing is just a matter of numbers, and if we win it back, everything will reset to zero. I used to be the most devout believer in that creed, my life's sole mantra, carved into my bones. I even pulled it off more than once. I've experienced nights where I clawed back everything I lost in a month, bet by bet. That feeling was like grabbing a lifeline mid-fall off a cliff. When the first ray of morning sunlight stung my eyes, and I dragged my hollowed-out body out of that familiar yet alien place, clutching a thick stack of cash still warm from someone else's body heat, there was no joy of victory. You think winning money is happiness? No, it's a deeper kind of fear. What I felt was a bone-chilling emptiness and coldness. I won the money back, sure, the numbers in my account turned positive, maybe even grew a bit. But the real ledger, the one etched in my heart that tallies all my sins and debts, its deficit only grew larger. What about the things I lost? Like the time I promised to take my son to the park. He put on his new shoes, packed his little water bottle, and waited at the door from noon till dusk. When I called to say, "Dad's got urgent work at the company," I heard his stifled sob of, "Oh," through the phone. In that moment, I felt like absolute scum. What could I win back in that moment? 1,000? 10,000? Could it rewind time, let me hold his little hand and take him to the slide he'd been talking about for a week? No. That seed of disappointment was already planted in my son's heart. Then there was the table full of food my wife lovingly prepared. She knew I was under pressure and specially made my favorite soup. She texted me, "Come home early, dinner's ready." And I replied with a good, before diving back into that bottomless pit of numbers. She reheated the food over and over, from steaming hot to ice cold. In the end, I guess she dumped it all in the trash, along with the last shred of hope she had for me, probably with tears in her eyes. When I got home at 3 a.m., reeking of smoke and the aggression of wins and losses, and saw that empty dining table and cold pot, I knew some things were more important than money's wins and losses, and I'd already lost them. I used the money I won later to buy her the designer bag she'd mentioned for ages, thinking it could make up for something. She accepted it without a thank you or a curse, just calmly put it in the closet, never touching it again. There wasn't a trace of a smile on her face. That calm was more terrifying than any hysterical fight. I knew she didn't want the bag. She wanted a husband who could let her sleep soundly, a man who could shoulder the family's responsibilities, someone who could hold her when she's scared and say, "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Not a liar with no control over his emotions, a ticking time bomb ready to destroy the family. Money can be won back, but what about the cracks in trust? Like a shattered mirror, even if you use the best glue in the world, those cracks will always be there, glinting harshly under the light, constantly reminding you of your betrayal and stupidity. Every late night, she wonders if you're back at it. Every secretive phone call makes her heart skip. Every mood swing fills her with fear. That kind of life, for her, isn't it a kind of hell? Then there are my parents, the people I owe the most in this life. They scrimped and saved their whole lives, giving me their best. The first time I racked up massive gambling debts with nowhere to turn, they took out their retirement savings. Money meant for their medical bills, their peaceful old age, to bail me out. They didn't scold me much, just said, "Son, live well from now on, don't touch it again." I knelt before them, swearing, cursing myself, promising I'd never do it again. But a gambler's oath is the cheapest bullshit. When that demon called again, I forgot their words completely. I even reached out to them again, spinning lies about business cash flow, friends in need, investment projects, disgusting lies that flowed so naturally from my mouth. Seeing their aging faces, watching them transfer money to me with unwavering trust, my heart bled, but my hands still took the money and fed it to that gaping maw. Later, I learned my dad's blood pressure wouldn't come down because he was so worried about me, staying up all night with insomnia. My mom secretly went to the temple to burn incense for me, praying for my safety. And me? I was burning through their retirement money at the gambling table, chasing that fleeting, fake thrill with bloodshot eyes. Could the money I won back by my father's health erase the worry from my mother's eyes? No. Every so-called victory was built on the pain of those closest to me. And my own body? Look in the mirror. Do you even recognize yourself? The hair falling out in clumps from sleepless nights and constant stress, the thinning scalp, the stomach pains from irregular eating and messed up routines, the tense shoulders and back from chronic anxiety, those bloodshot eyes filled with greed, fear, calculation, and exhaustion. You think winning money will make you glow? No, gambling hollows you out from the inside, turning you into a grotesque monster. You lose healthy sleep, the taste for good food, the passion for life. Your senses exist only for the outcome of wins and losses. I finally saw through it. As long as you're sitting at that table, you're not playing a fair game of wealth. You're trading the most precious, irreplaceable things in life: time, health, family, trust, character, dignity, for a deal with the devil that's guaranteed to bankrupt you. You're betting your entire life, and what you hope to win back is just a pile of paper you'll lose again. From the moment you sit down, you're doomed to lose everything. The real dealer isn't the suited croupier or the mysterious figure watching the cameras. It's the insatiable greed inside you, amplified to infinity. It will devour everything until you're nothing but an empty shell. This leads to my second reason for quitting for good. I didn't want to be a puppet on a string anymore. We gamblers share a laughable trait: extreme arrogance. We have this absurd delusion that we're the ones gambling, we're making the decisions, we're analyzing the situation, we're in control of our fate. We study patterns, calculate odds, chase so-called rules, thinking we're smarter than the mindless bettors. Big or small, call or fold, we think these are calculated, masterful choices. We even pat ourselves on the back for a precise prediction, feeling like the god of gambling himself. But play long enough and you'll have a moment like I did, when you're so lost and dazed from losing that you suddenly wake up. The one controlling the game was never you, nor some vague notion of luck. Your every emotion, your heartbeat, your breathing, your joy, your rage, is tied to a number flashing on a screen or a card in someone else's hand. You're an absolute emotion slave. When you win, the euphoria and greed surge like a current from your toes to your skull. It's more thrilling than anything, like you're king of the world. It burns away your rationality, making you toss out all your rules. Stop after winning X. Play for 2 hours and leave. Into the stratosphere. It tells you, keep going. Luck's on your side. The heavens are handing you money. Walking away now would be stupid, so you can't stop until you spit out your winnings, even start losing your capital. And when you lose, that unwillingness and resentment coil around your heart like a venomous snake, tightening until you can't breathe. It whips your soul, roaring in your ear. Next round, you'll get it back. You can't stop now. You were so close. If you hadn't been greedy, you'd have won. The next one's a sure thing. It forces you to chase your losses, stripping you of basic judgment. Your mind has no logic, only a fire called unwillingness. To quench that fire, you'll do anything. Sell everything, take out loans, lie to family and friends. At that point, you're not you anymore. You're a beast controlled by unwillingness. Think back. When you were deep in the game, were you still a whole person? The world vanished, your eyes locked on the table or phone screen. Your ears heard only the clink of chips, the shuffle of cards, or the game's stimulating sound effects. Family calls annoyed you, so you hung up. Friends' concern felt like noise, and you might have snapped at them. You locked yourself in an airtight shell, thinking you were a masterful hunter, when really you were the prey, exhausted, cornered by desire and algorithms. Everything in a casino, online or off, is a carefully designed psychological trap. The flashing, nerve-exciting lights, the rhythmic, thought-drowning background music, the comfy chairs that make you never want to stand, even the free drinks and snacks. all exist for one purpose: to break your will, numb your senses, make you forget time, hunger, fatigue, family, and who you are. Then, like a wound-up puppet, you mechanically, numbly repeat, bet, deal, bet again. I used to obsess over so-called systems and strategies. Martingale, Fibonacci, following patterns, chasing long streaks. Like a crazed scientist, I filled notebooks with thousands of game results, searching for the holy grail of winning. I thought I was conducting rational research. Now I see it was a fool trying to prove 1 + 1 is equal to 3. All these systems rely on a laughable premise: infinite capital and infinite time. You have neither, and you overlook the biggest factor, human nature. Even if a system works in theory, your greed and fear will betray it at the critical moment. Win, and you'll break the rules to win more. Lose, and you'll double down to recover faster. In the end, it's not the system playing, it's you, controlled by your emotions. Ever felt that almost won sensation? Betting on 11, but it lands on 12. Betting big, but it's a tie. Betting on 2.8x, but it hits 2.7x. That near miss is the casino's deadliest weapon. It doesn't make you despair. It gives you the illusion that, I was so close, next time I'll hit it. That illusion is more addictive than straight losses, hooking you like a fish, making you keep pouring money in to chase that elusive, almost. Until one day, after losing for 3 days and nights straight, I went to the casino bathroom to splash cold water on my face, hoping to clear my head. I looked up and saw a stranger in the mirror. Bloodshot eyes, sunken sockets, haggard face, greasy hair, a sleazy, neurotic expression. A wave of nausea and fear hit me. I stared for a long time before I could believe that was me. I asked myself, who is this person? Is this still the ambitious, hopeful me who believed I could build anything with my own hands? Was my life, my career, my family going to be controlled forever by a rigged game and the uncontrollable demon inside me? No, I didn't want this anymore. I didn't want to be a soulless puppet led by the nose. I had to cut the strings controlling me, even if it meant tearing my heart and bleeding out. I had to drag the real me back from the abyss of gambling, upright and whole. And the ultimate reason for taking myself back? 2 words: peace. To ordinary people, those 2 words might seem bland, even boring. 9 to 5, daily chores, what's the point? But for those of us who've walked the knife's edge and suffered in hell, peace is worth its weight in gold. The ultimate luxury we couldn't buy with countless sleepless nights and painful costs. Gamblers have no home. I don't mean you lack a physical house. I mean your heart is always suspended, with nowhere to rest. Your soul is a wanderer, forever restless. You never truly live in the moment. What kind of life do you have when you win? You think it's paradise? No, it's just another room in hell. You're terrified. You're scared people will find out you suddenly have money. How do you explain where it came from? You're afraid of thieves, of being robbed. You're even more afraid of losing this ill-gotten wealth as fast as it came. You hide the money in safe places, sleep with your bank card and phone under your pillow, jolted awake by the slightest noise, thinking someone's come to steal it. You don't dare deposit it, afraid of records or surveillance. You don't dare spend it freely, afraid of raising suspicion. You're like a fool clutching a ticking time bomb, basking in fleeting, fake vanity while enduring crushing, constant mental pressure. The money you won doesn't bring security, just deeper unease. And the days you lose? That's straight-up human hell. You fear even more. You dread phone calls. Every unknown number could be a debt collector, the ringtone like a death knell. You flinch at knocks, always thinking it's a creditor, even jumping at a neighbor's footsteps. You're scared to check your phone, dreading those collection texts, those deficit statements you can't face. You're afraid to go home, truly afraid. You don't know how to face your wife's disappointed expression, or your kid running up innocently asking, "Dad, when are we going on vacation?" You dread your parents' mix of frustration and worry. Your whole world is filled with fear. You're a startled bird. You don't dare plan for the future. Others talk about buying a car next year, a house the year after. What are you thinking? When's the next loan payment due? How do I survive this month? Your life has no certainty, only endless possibilities, plunging into an abyss. Your existence boils down to 2 states: on the way to gamble or stressing over gambling debts. Those days of being mentally checked out, uninterested in anything, with your mind consumed by numbers and outcomes. I'm done with them. The paranoia of thinking everyone's talking about you behind your back, the exhaustion of covering one lie with 100 more, the bone-deep loneliness of being abandoned by everyone. I never want to feel that again. What do I want now? You might laugh, but what I'm fighting for with everything I've got is the ordinary I used to scoff at. I want to take a hot shower on a normal night, turn off my phone, and sleep soundly till morning. No debt collectors in my dreams. No waking up at 4 a.m. frantically calculating how much I owe. I want to confidently answer every phone call, boldly invite friends for dinner over the weekend, not make excuses out of guilt, fearing they're asking for money. I want to sit down on payday with my wife, calmly plan the month's budget, set aside money for our kids' extracurriculars, prepare a red envelope for my parents, and save the rest. Watching that bank account grow, even just a little each month, fills me with peace and security. That feeling is richer than any money I ever won. I want to sit with my family, eating a warm dinner, listening to them talk about funny things that happened at work or what the kid learned at school. Mundane, win-loss-free family chatter. During my gambling days, even at the dinner table, my soul was at the card table. I couldn't hear a word my family said. Now, I realize how precious it is to listen to them without distraction.